Okay, hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I thought we would talk a little bit today about something that helped me a lot during 2020, and that is journaling. Ignore this microphone, it does nothing. But I thought it would be really nice because I got a lot of use out of journaling this year, and maybe some of the stuff that I'm going to talk about will help you too. So I first started journaling when I was maybe 5 or 6 years old, and then I would do it for a little bit and then I would stop, and then I would get a new journal and I would do it again for a couple months and I would stop, and I would get another one and I would stop. So it was just this continuous cycle up until high school, and then I finally completely stopped all the way through college excuse me, until now. And the reason I restarted journaling is because I was a med-surg nurse, which, if you don't know, med-surg nurses get a lot of COPD, diabetes, high blood pressure kind of patients. And I was making my transition over to the coronary ICU, which is the CICU. So even though it's supposed to be more heart intensive, we do get a diverse patient population there as well. But the whole point of me starting journaling was I wanted to be able to write down my experience, if just for me, that's what journaling should be, just for you. But I thought that it was a really good way to kind of look back at my progress. And, if something bad happened that day, I can just write it out in my journal. So that's kind of why I started writing this year. I didn't start at the beginning of the year, I just started whenever I transitioned in my old job. So I think it's really important to figure out your why. Are you doing it because, you want a creative outlet? Are you doing it because you want to, just be proud that you have, a piece of history with you? Because if you're not doing it because you like it, you're not going to keep up with it. And that's just the truth. I think when I was younger, a lot of the reasons I started and stopped was because I thought that what I was writing was interesting. And I was like, if somebody else read my journal, which nobody should read your journal besides you, unless you're giving that person strict permission, I feel like it would be so boring. And boy, was I right. Because when I reread my journals from when I was 5 or 6 years old, or even 10, 11, 12, all I wrote about were guys. And I can't believe that I was like that, but I was. And now when I look back at my current journal, I'll be like, oh wow, maybe I liked who I was, maybe I didn't, but it's a piece of history now, of my history, that I get to take with me wherever I go. So I really, really like that part of being able to look back at past me and see who the hell 12-year-old Molly was. The other thing with journals, one of the reasons I feel like I didn't stick with it, or stick with it even as an older individual, because I remember I think I tried e-journaling for a while and keeping everything in a Word document and such. Obviously that didn't go well either, but just there are literally no rules to journal. It is strictly for you, and sometimes that makes it feel intimidating, your words aren't good enough to say or to save, and that, I don't know, I would think something in my head and I would be like, do I really want to write it down though? It wasn't good enough to write. I don't know if that's ever happened to you, let me know. But that was kind of a barrier for me, that I didn't think it was good enough. And I was my harshest critic because, again, who's going to read it except me? And side note for any parents out there, if you do have a child that has a journal or something like that, or diary or whatever you want to call it, please, 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 even if your son or daughter, whoever's writing in it, seems distant or whatever, don't break that bond between them and their words, because they're not for you. They should be for themselves. So just a side note there. But sometimes I felt like, oh, I didn't do it this day or in however many days, and therefore this journal sucks because I'm not keeping up with it. Or you know, maybe I shouldn't write it this way. Maybe I should write it that way. I don't know. All of those maybes on like how I should do my journal made me basically not want to write in it because I didn't think that it would be good. The other kind of thing that you might want to think about for journaling is like, what kind of journal are you going to keep? I know something that's really crazy around YouTube or like really big in the YouTube community is the like bullet journal community. If you don't know what bullet journaling is, it's not a traditional journal in the sense that you're writing down what happened in your day or how things made you feel or whatever. It's more of an organizational system. So this is my bullet journal. And I figured out really quick that my bullet journal or bullet journaling in general was just not for me. I just need a calendar. I need, you know, a pre-made calendar because it's supposed to be very artistic, and it is, but putting all of that creative energy into the journal to just like make the months and make the lists and figure out the spreads took so much energy that I was like, I barely want to use it as a calendar anymore. So instead, I turned this journal into my learning journal. So I have a couple different ones. I have this one, which is for learning, another one, which is for travel, and I don't think I have that one here. And then my other just like straight up journal. My straight up journal has kind of become my travel journal, but I'll kind of get into that later in the video. So for my learning journal, it is a flat, I forget what it's called. There's spiraled and then there's a flat spine. It has a little pocket in the back. Super exciting. It doesn't actually come with this detail. This is just some washi tape I decided to put there, like the artistic person I am. And I'll kind of walk you through it because some of these things you might like to put in your journal. I wrote a little sticky note and it says, did you, I saw this on Instagram, which is a great place for inspiration, by the way. Did you meet up with a friend this month? Did you spend a day outside? Did you have a date night? Did you spend a day by yourself? And I think that's a really great way to frame a month. Like, I feel like even with 2020, like the months just go by and yeah, maybe we couldn't have physically gotten together with people, but did you call somebody that you haven't called in a long time? Or, you know, did you talk to your parents more than just to catch up, like a deep conversation, stuff like that. So I thought that was a good way to like keep a record of time. Some pages just are like mini book reviews for like self-help books, like the KonMari method, how to set goals with Kaizen and Ikigai. A lot of financial stuff because financial literacy, and this is a whole other topic I could go on, is very important to me because a lot of the times your view on money is based on how your parents viewed money. So if you don't know a lot, the more you learn, the better you will be, basically. What else do I got in here? The Total Money Makeover, ideas for cosplay, the 6 things that predict divorce, healthy relationships, unhealthy relationships, attachment styles, theories of love, cognitive distortions, trauma responses, stress in the body. Oh, and the one that I recently did was about chakras. I don't necessarily believe everything that I've put in here, like the stress in the body and especially the chakras, but I just think it's so interesting to learn about. The other thing I like to do, Japanese, like 101 for Hiragana, because learning Japanese is still on my bucket list, but I'm not there yet. Anyways, putting in like little diagrams. So for the Japanese, I have a little bit of the alphabet. For the chakras, I have like a little picture with them all down the body, or at least I will. That's the next thing I want to put in here. For Ikigai, I have the, where'd it go? the purpose diagram, and other Ikigai, which is more of like self-actualization based. So I feel like printing those things out and putting them in their journals is just another nice way to fill it. So the other type of journal that I have, moving on, is just my everyday journal. So this is the one that I started in, when did I start this bad boy? September of last year when I started the ICU. So this is a spiral notebook. It's about, I don't know, 6x8. Good size. I don't like the really big college notebooks. I think the reason why these kind of notebooks are so small is because when you're stuck with that big of a page, it can be really intimidating to fill out the whole page. And here, I feel like I fill out a page pretty easily. If you're really intimidated by the first page, here's a really great quote that I put at the beginning of my journal, and it just says, "Journaling is like whispering to oneself and listening at the same time." So, I guess it doesn't make sense to show you since everything's backwards since I'm filming on my phone. But anyways, this notebook belongs to Molly Protz. So some of the things I've put in here are more artsy things. And this is kind of where we get to like the stationery part of the video, which is always the fun part. I've been really into watching Jet Pens on YouTube, and they stock some super cool things that I'm just like, ooh, I want like really cute washi tape designs and stickers. So if you want to, I would definitely recommend going over to their channels, because I feel like you can watch one video and you'll get sucked into all the other videos. So besides talking about my day-to-day, I have maps printed out of where I've hiked. I wrote how I liked the hike, would I go back, how many stars did I give it, that kind of thing. Stickers and washi tapes. If I go to an event like a movie or, you know, a cooking class and they have a card, or I did the Milwaukee's Empty Bowls last year and I just got a bowl to decorate my house, I will take a little, you know, card from them, or, you know, movie tickets, and I'll tape that in there, and I'll write, you know, how was the movie, and give it a quick review. Did I like the bowl that I got? Those kinds of things. While I was going through my keepsakes, I found tickets to like theaters, and I wrote about, could I remember the theater? Did I remember the storyline? Sometimes when I like can't think of anything to write, I'll just scroll Instagram like incessantly and look up like therapy prompts, or not prompts, therapy guided questions, writing prompts. Like, for example, have you ever attempted therapy? Have you ever gone camping? Blah, blah, blah. And there's journals at Target that kind of have these prompts, but obviously, even though it's a huge book, even if they do have all the prompts, or a lot of prompts, they're not going to have everything. So that way Instagram will kind of almost tailor the results for you. I have write about the 5 love languages, what do you think about them, rank them, all sort of things. So hopefully you'll get some inspiration from this too. The other thing with like the Target ones where it's like already pre-filled out, I feel kind of guilty filling them out, even though that's the whole purpose, because when you fill it out and if you want to write the prompt again, there's only a limited space to do so. I don't know if that's just me or if that's everybody, but the way that I've kind of helped combat that is, besides like getting rid of my starving artist mentality, is I'll write my answers, I'll date them, and that way if I want to write it again in my new journal, I can just copy the question down. So there's that. I have stickers. I have this like Target sticker book, and it's just your urine stickers, and I kind of list some of the biggest moments like Happy New Year's, Christmas, 4th of July, a lot of American-based holidays, and I'll just add those decorations to my book as well. I have stickers for snow, sunny, clouds, everything. Kind of love it. I don't know, they just make me so happy. Oh, I did want a prompt for a couple days where it's like, draw your childhood home. What do you remember about your childhood home? And what I actually ended up doing is I Googled the old addresses and then on Google's Maps, and based on Google Maps, I would draw the house. So I have one there, I have one there, and then I would write about it. And what do I remember about it? Do I remember it? Same thing with my school, with my church. Ooh, this is a whole other thing, but these are questions from the curated closet from, I can't say her name correctly, so sorry when I butcher this, Anshuka Reese. I don't have this book, but I follow people on YouTube who have done questions that come out of this book. So like, what does style mean to you? What percentage of your wardrobe do you wear in a month? So interesting things. I'm getting really off topic here, but I just love talking about these things. Do you cry more than you laugh? If I sold a piece of furniture that I've had for a long time, I'll sketch a little doodle of it and put that in. Blah, blah, blah. I don't know. And I am actually almost done with my book. Ooh, you got a little dog decal. So, and that's not in like 7 months, and I'm almost done with this whole thing. So I really like the spiral, going back to like stationery and the whole purpose of this, instead of me just gawking at my own journal. I really like the spiral. I know a lot of people like the flat binding books, but I like that it can lay like completely flat. Even though sometimes the spiral will get in the way of your writing, especially on like the left side of the page, I'll just put a little line of washi tape to kind of give a little decal, and that way you can kind of write all the way to the washi tape and it still looks like put together and polished. My other journal, as you saw, isn't flat, just because when you start, when you open it, the beginning, it doesn't get flat until you hit like the middle of the book. And even then, when you hit the end of the book, it's not going to lay flat again. So unless I'm just doing this wrong. For all of my writing, I like to use just black pens. Find a pen that you really like to write with, because that will just make it so much more addicting. Like when I find a pen that I really like to write with, I don't let it go. And maybe that's just an Asian thing, maybe that's just a nurse thing, but it just makes me want to write. So what I was using before was the Pilot G2 0.38. Although sometimes I feel like because it is so pointy, it like digs into my paper. The other thing that I like to use is a Sharpie pen. And this one is a little bit more, I don't know what the term is, more like a nub. So it's not going to dig into the paper quite as well. But you also want to find a pen that's not going to bleed through the paper. Now with my pens, they don't bleed through, but they do shadow through, so you can see the shadow of what you've written, which I don't mind. It kind of makes it feel like it's more full, in my opinion. And then the other thing, like I was talking about in my notebook, is to go so hard with the stickers and the decorations, because without them, I feel like my books would be so freaking plain and they wouldn't be as inviting or whatever. So if you really love stickers and you have the money, go buy them. I know as a kid, I used to have this like starving artist mentality where nothing seemed good enough for my stickers. So I would literally put them on just a piece of printer paper and save them in like a binder. Probably not the best use for them, but I would like, if they were pink, I would put them on one page, or if they were all florals, I would put them on one page. Not the best use, but here I get to use them as decorations to help tell my story, or just embellish the page, or, you know, stick on my ticket stubs or whatever. Like I have popcorn stickers for the movies. Let me just go through some of these because they're cute as hell. And I've just been collecting them in my giant box here. Of course, you gotta have your washi tapes. Just a fun way to embellish. I have hearts. The other thing I got from the dollar store are these glue dots. And these are glue dots, adhesive, strong bond, permanent dots. They have ones that are not permanent, but if I have like a thicker cardstock that I want to put in there, instead of gluing it to the page, which can sometimes, if you're using like traditional Elmer's glue and it has a lot of water in it, you know how it can like warp the back of the page? You don't have to worry about this because there's no water. I got mine for the COVID shot. I got a couple. I got one for the first dose and one for the second dose. So I ended up having a page empty that I left specifically to write down if I had any reactions to the COVID vaccine, which thankfully I did, but they were very, very mild, like aches and pains, headaches, whatever. Some cute florals. These are 2D stickers. I don't know if you can tell in the video, but sometimes I don't like them because when you're closing the page on top of it and trying to write over it, or what, if that makes sense, like the 2D part of it that pops out can make it weird to write on. So that's just a side note for some of these stickers. So I learned that I like to have them more so than just laying flat. I have ones that are snow for winter time, like my first snow or Christmas. I have ones that are specifically travel themed, so if I do travel somewhere, those can help decorate. What else do I got in here? Oh, here. This is the one. It's called it's literally called The Little Book of Seasons, and this is at Target for, I don't know, I think $5. And yeah, it has Happy New Year, Valentine's Day, Welcome Spring, Christmas, Halloween, 4th of July. Really cute. Oh, and then the other ones that I got, I could go through my whole sticker collection, I'm sorry. But these are the last ones that I got. And I thought they were really cute as well. These are the Happy Planner stickers, the farmhouse version. And they're just like little feel-good ones. Like, grateful for so much, love my life, do all things with love. I really like the aesthetics of these ones as well. So, I'm sorry, you can't really see them because, again, I'm recording on my phone and this video is going a lot longer than I thought it would. But if you've lasted this long, thanks for sticking around as I gush about my journals and why I think you should have one too. So, thanks for watching and I will see you guys next one. Bye.